and found refuge in the UK. Unfortunately, he's all alone. He's taking care of a UK family. Well, there's an example from the book like you to have the vivid imagination of how it would feel like to present something to a refugee boy. Well, because you really care about that boy, you found that the boy, the new schoolboy, likes pomegranates because the area or the territory he comes from, the people there cherish and love eating pomegranates. Through a lot of struggles and challenges in the markets of the UK, you find a pomegranate, and you can't wait to share the pomegranate with the new boy, although he cannot speak English. It reads something like this: Anjali Rauf, the boy at the back of the class. Then, slowly, the new boy reached out and took the pomegranate in his hands. Home, home, he said quietly, his lined eyes getting very big. I have home. Yes, I said. That's you. Yes, I said. You're home in Syria. I've seen it on a map. You know, a map. Then the boy fell quiet. And then for the first time since we had met him, he smiled. Not a small smile or a side smile, even a half smile, but a real proper smile that went from one cheek to another, and that made his eyes smile too. He opened his mouth to say something when suddenly, Brandon the bully, the villain in the book, Brandon the bully pushed past us. Give me that, he said, and he snatched the pomegranate from Ahmed's hands. Give that back, I shouted. Feeling scared and angry all at once. Make me, Brandon the bully sneered as he turned around to face me. According to the research that's done by Gallup and Meta, loneliness is increasing among young adults. And loneliness being one of the factors that's leading to severe anxiety and depression, sometimes bringing negative consequences and outcomes such as suicide. Well, alarmingly, over 142 countries, the young adults between the ages of 19 and 29 reported that they feel severe loneliness up to average loneliness, 27%. Can you imagine? 27%. Unfortunately, we don't have the data whether Uzbekistan or any Central Asian country is involved in this. Following that, according to the World Health Organization, only out of 100 young adults who severely feel depression or loneliness, only 25% of them, they receive treatment. When I say treatment, please do not rush to imagine that I'm just talking about antidepressants or some medical treatment. Sometimes it can go, or it can be stretched as far as having psychotherapy. I'm sorry about that. Psychotherapy or one-to-one therapeutical discussions. Well, last year, I was invited to attend one of the greatest talks that I have ever witnessed in Uzbekistan. And it was led by the head of the Indicator and Analysis Division of the PISA results at OECD, Andreas Schleicher. Interestingly, Uzbekistan ranks 72nd out of 81 countries. We are very much at the bottom. PISA results, for your reference, it talks about the science, math, and general reading skills. And yeah, that's great. And general reading skills of the 15-year-old students in public schools. Well, interestingly, when asked about their mental health, Uzbekistani students in public schools, I'm not talking about college and university level students, public school students reported that they have a lack of sense of belonging to their schools. Interestingly, global research at PISA shows that students approximately at the age of 14 or 15, they care about one thing. They care about one thing about their mental well-being. In the morning, they said, they wake up and they really want to go to school because they don't want to ace the test or pass the quiz or have a fantastic PowerPoint presentation to their classmates. But they really want to answer one critical question by their teacher, which is, how are you today? Isn't it deeply concerning that there are students who simply or merely go to schools to be asked one question or to be asked how they are doing today? And this is part of a huge thing, a thing called holistic education. Well, Uzbekistan is the member of a UN countries, and Uzbekistan has to comply with Sustainable Development Goals. If you know, there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the fourth of which is all about quality education. There are so many debates of what makes quality education quality. Well, I'm not here to talk about, or I'm not here to sell the argument that quality education only comes by certain elements. No. But what I know of, sometimes quality education comes through inclusion and holistic education. Well, Sustainable Development number 4. Sustainable SDG goal number 4, it reads something like this: inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. Then the question arises, what does it mean quality education? What is quality education? Here I'm going to talk about holistic education. What is holistic education that leads us to quality education? Well, interestingly, holistic education is a combination of literacy and numeracy followed by one important huge factor, social-emotional learning. More often than not, we are believed or we are persuaded that if you do well in academia, you are great. No argument about that. I'm not here to change your opinion, but I'm here to talk about why social-emotional equally, not less, not more, equally matters as literacy or numeracy, or the content knowledge that we champion or glamorize in our academia. Holistic education is concerned with the experience, not with narrowly defined basic skills. Holistic education, it's part of it is social-emotional learning, and social-emotional learning, it comes through connections, through academic, professional, personal relationships. In simple words, holistic education happens when you come to university, this place, and you really want to study, but at the same time, you want to build connections because deep down, you know that you matter. Deep down, you know that you have a value. Deep down that you have a small, not a big, a small circle. A circle of friends, a circle of instructors, or the people or staff members at the university who deeply care about you just because you are the way you are. 3 years back, when I was doing my MA in International Education and Development at the University of Sussex in the UK, my professor, Yusuf Syed, suggested that I should work with him on social-emotional learning because this is one of the under-researched topics in the world. Well, holistic education is through Readers Club. At the beginning of my speech, I started talking about I am the founder of the Readers Club, or I have been running Readers Club at this university for over a year. When I started working at this university back in 2023, I was lucky to teach industrial manager students who are year 3 students this year. But 3 years back, they were the first year freshman students. Well, because I taught social science, introduction to social science to them, we were lucky to read and analyze George Orwell's Animal Farm. You cannot imagine how challenging, you cannot imagine how controversial our each class was. We talked about controversial ideas, we challenged one another, and then sometimes we agreed, but other times we also agreed to disagree. Soon after I finished my course with them, a student whose name is Nur Muhammad approached me and then he said, Mr. Shoda, is there any chance that we might have the continuation of the book analysis? And I didn't have a clue, and I didn't know what to do. In a way, it's not my idea to open the Readers Club at this university, but all the credit should go to Nur Muhammad, who suggested that I should open a Readers Club. Well then, through his, and there's another coordinator of mine, I have 2 coordinators at the Readers Club, Azbek and Nur Muhammad, we got into opening our first very much mental health-oriented, social-emotional learning targeted club, which is Readers Club. Don't think that our target here was not promoting reading books more or inspiring other people to read more books. No, books and films, whatever we did in the club, it was just a mere tool. What we really deeply cared about was the social-emotional learning, psychosocial states of our students who felt disconnected, who felt alienated, who felt that they were drifting away from the life called academia. Well, then we opened our Readers Club, 2024 spring. Here you can see on the photos, it's all coming with the consent, don't worry. I got the consent from the readers at the beginning of the Readers Club. Here there are some snippets from what we did. As you can see, we grew and grew. We never shrank. So many readers showed interest in joining our club. And through filtering and then through screening, we accepted them. In a way, we created the first closed community called Readers Club. In the club, we did a wide array of different activities. We painted, we had good snacks, we laughed, we had a good amount of cry sometimes when we read and watched the films and then made the analysis. In a way, that was a safe space for our students to come and share their experiences, to talk about who they are. I forgot to tell you that our targeted audience, our targeted kind of clients for the Readers Club was never academically accomplished students. We never cared whether they were best students, average level, or low-performing students. What we deeply cared about, whether they really need to connect with other people or not. Depending and coming from that need, we want to create a safe space. Well, what we have done so far, we have read more than we helped more than 70 readers in 2 cohorts. And we read 15 books and analyzed 5 books. And we also had over 50 one-to-one sessions. By the way, I am not a certified psychologist. I do not have a degree in therapy. But what I can offer is listening ears, non-judgmental face, and a good cup of coffee or tea in my office, which is UCA 206. More than this, what I can be proud of that we developed 2 qualities in our readers. Number 1, when the readers came, I don't want to say they were timid, or I don't want to say that they were scared. They were not. They were brave as they ever were. But what we developed and nurtured in them is 2 qualities. The first one is readers started talking or started using positive vocabulary against one another or for one another. After the first 3 sessions, most of the readers, I don't want to say all, because that's not the truth, most of the readers started talking about their positive qualities. Even the silent ones, when other neighbors joined, we usually talk about neighbors, not readers. Readers or neighbors joined the club. They were the first one, the less silent. I was really surprised to figure this out. The less silent ones were the first ones to say, I'm glad you are here. You know what? I missed you. Can I be your neighbor in this discussion? Because I've thoroughly enjoyed, I genuinely, truly enjoyed our readers' discussion last session. And through sessions and sessions, my readers, I cannot be proud than this, my readers started using super positive vocabulary to one another to elevate their moods. It wasn't a fake or artificial way of people-pleasing. I don't want to say that. They truly cared for one another. And then the second one is through reading books and analyzing films. So many readers of mine, they found out or they discovered so many book characters or film characters that are just similar to them, or they have the same set of problems, personal, professional, academic problems as they have. And interestingly, after each session, you cannot believe how many readers would approach me and then tell me, Mr. Dilshoda, you cannot imagine, that book character is just me. I resonate deeply with that book character. And that is, in a way, that was their way of talking about their problems. That was their way of talking about their issues. That was their way of opening up. And happily, fortunately, we never judged, because that was the policy in our Readers Club. We never judged people based on their ethnicity, background, socio-economic background. We never cared about that. All we cared that they were present and then they were sharing their ideas with us. Well, a reader whose name is Narzullah, I got the content that he's okay to be his name to be shared. He wrote a letter to me, and then he shared it in his open Telegram channel about the books that he read. and his oral impressions. Feel free to scan the QR code and have access to his letter. It's called So Short a Letter. It is an imitation to a book called So Long a Letter by a Senegalese woman who talks about gender inequality or female problems in Africa. Well, there's two things that kind of caught my attention that Narzullo wrote. The first one is this. It's a snippet. I'm quoting him. I'm still willing to pay a steep price to go back to that time and experience it once again as if it's my first time. That was exhilarating for me to read this. And the second one is, this story taught us that all humans deserve a chance to live happily, as we all just want a home and a family. This quote is coming from his review of Steinbeck's book called Of Mice and Men. I don't want to bring any spoilers of the characters there. This is the first book that we read in the second cohort of my Readers Club, and it's coming from a bestseller book by South Korean author Won Byung-sun. There is no such person who can't be saved. There are only people who give up on trying to save others. I am not selling the idea that you should take good care of yourself, but I am here to sell the idea that, please, you should take care of other people so that other people do the same to you. And in the same line of books, we also analyzed movies. And one of the best movies that I have ever watched is called 12 Angry Men. In that movie, there is one character, juror number 9, if I'm not mistaken. And he says something as profound as this. It's a very dangerous thing to mean nothing. It's a very dangerous thing to mean nothing. Because in the vast criteria of nothingness, human beings can go to the extent of every single evil, every single atrocity. Through building Readers Club in this university, although very small, although very close, although we had a decent funding, not huge level of funding, also decent amount of funding from this university, I'm happy that with my readers, we gave a chance. We gave a chance to one another, a chance and a gift. A chance and a gift to mean something, a chance and a gift to matter, a chance and a gift to be seen and to be considered a human, just the way we are. Thank you so much.